Today on Sugar Spun Run, I'll be showing you how to make double chocolate chip cookies. Hey Sugar Spun Bakers, Sam here, and today I am sharing a super chocolatey recipe with you. This one is really easy to make, no mixer required, so let's get right to it. Now, before you begin, you'll want to preheat your oven to 350 degrees Fahrenheit. Next, you are going to need 1 cup of melted butter. So many of my cookie recipes start with melted butter. So if you've made any of those, you know once you melt your butter, you need to let it cool. Let the butter cool for about 10 minutes or so until it's no longer warm to the touch, because if it's too warm, it's going to melt our sugars and we're going to have a greasy, messy cookie dough on our hands, and we don't want that. So my butter is looking pretty good right here. So now I'm going to add my sugar. You're going to need 1 1/4 cups of firmly packed light brown sugar, and a 1/2 cup of granulated sugar. And we'll just use our spatula to stir the butter and sugar together until everything is nicely combined. Next, we'll add 1 egg plus 1 egg yolk. We are omitting that second white because it would make our cookies a little more cakey and a little more dry than I like them to be. I like nice, fudgy, dense cookies. Our yolk broke here, so let me scrape that in. And we'll also add 1 1/2 teaspoons of vanilla extract. We'll stir this together. If you see any lumps in your brown sugar, just use your spatula to smash them against the side of the bowl to break them up. Now set your wet ingredients aside, and you're going to need a separate bowl for your dry ingredients. You're going to need 2 1/4 cups of all-purpose flour. And we're going to add 1/2 cup of natural cocoa powder, 2 teaspoons of cornstarch, a teaspoon of baking powder, 3/4 teaspoon of salt, a 1/2 teaspoon of baking soda, and I also like to add a 1/2 teaspoon of instant coffee grounds. This just really helps bring out the chocolate flavor in the cookies. It's not going to make your cookies taste like coffee. We'll just whisk these together until they're completely combined. Now let's grab our butter mixture, and we are going to gradually add our flour cocoa powder mixture to the butter mixture. I like to add this in about 3 or 4 parts just to make it easier to stir everything together. And because this cookie dough is made with melted butter, it's so easy to combine everything by hand. So our cookie dough base is made with cocoa powder, so that's chocolatey. So in order for these to be double chocolate, of course, we need another form of chocolate. I am going to be using dark chocolate chips. You can use semi-sweet chocolate chips instead. You'll need about 2 cups total for this recipe. I'm only going to add about 1 3/4 cup of chips into the batter right now. I'm going to reserve the rest for later. We'll stir these in. So once you have everything combined, you are going to need a 1 1/2 tablespoon size cookie scoop. And we're just going to scoop rounded spoonfuls of dough. And you could just drop this directly on the baking sheet, but because I like my cookies to look nice and round and uniform, I'm just going to briefly roll them in my hands before placing on the baking sheet. And this dough is a little bit soft, that's fine. We'll bake these in our 350 degree Fahrenheit preheated oven for about 10 to 12 minutes. Now remember those chocolate chips that we reserved from earlier? Within 1 to 2 minutes of these cookies coming out of the oven, I like to go ahead and just gently press a few chocolate chips into the tops of each cookie. This is totally optional. You can, of course, just mix these cookies or mix these chocolate chips in with your cookie dough. I just think this gives them a really nice bakery style look. Makes them really pretty for pictures. I know not everybody takes pictures of their cookies like I do, but I just think it makes them look nice. You'll want to let the cookies cool completely on the baking sheet before you dig in. That's all there is to making these super rich, chocolatey, double chocolate cookies. If you guys try this one out, I would love to hear what you think. As you know, I always love hearing from you. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. These are so good.